I had an opportunity to go down and live with my sister for about 3 weeks. She was a grad student at University of South Carolina, working on her doctorate in physical therapy. And I was working on my senior honors thesis about a slave rebellion that was purported to have taken place on an island off of Georgia, St. Simon's Island off Georgia. And so I thought South Carolina is closer to Georgia than Connecticut, which is where I was headed for the rest of the summer for my internship. And so what better time to take 3 weeks and party with my sister and work on my thesis paper. So I was recently 21. She's 2 years older than me, so she was 23. And we're not super close, but we were going to have, a big sister time for these 3 weeks. I also didn't have a job. My internship later in the summer was going to be unpaid. And so it would have been an appropriate time to dig into my savings and sustain myself. But instead, I tried to live on almost no money. And so my grocery budget for the week was practically nothing. I had to save a little money for going out to the bar on Friday and Saturday. So I was eating a yogurt for lunch. And I was also at the time in my life where I was learning to cook for myself for the first time. And so I could make buttered pasta, and that was about it. A sandwich. I was good for a sandwich. But I was hanging out with these 2 years older people who had kind of been on their own for a while, were living in their own apartments, and were just cooler and older and more sophisticated and better than me. So I was both learning to budget and shop and cook and feed myself, but also trying to impress people who have been doing it for so much longer than me. And the folks in my sister's class, there was only about 30 of them in their program, so they all were close with one another, got together, and every so often they would host meals, and someone would cook this big meal, and they'd all come over and eat. And the one that I was invited to was an Italian Sunday, spaghetti something something. This guy's grandmother's recipe, and he spent all day on the sauce. And we came over and had the spaghetti and meat sauce and garlic bread and maybe a salad, and it was, I just ate and ate and ate. And then it was my turn to reciprocate. I was I'm going to impress the cool older people, and I'm going to host a dinner party at my sister's apartment. And I'm only going to invite a couple people because I know my limits. I haven't done this. I don't know how to do this. And I invited these poor people over, 4 people total, including myself. And I was going to make chicken and peppers and onions over rice. So I bought 2 chicken breasts, 1 pepper, 1 onion, and maybe a cup of rice. No seasoning, no salt, no pepper. And I made it. They came over. I was oh, just 1 minute, I'll plate it out. It's almost done. I plated them a lukewarm, baby serving of food. And they very politely ate it and said thank you, and thanks for feeding us, really appreciate this, and then probably went home and had a real dinner. But that was my first foray into hosting, and I will say I have come a bit further of a way where I know to feed people the appropriate amount of food.